Burnout is much more prevalent and real than we may think or even recognize it to be. According to Gallup polls, 8 out of 10 working moms experience burnout. 47% of parents in the US, and this was a Gallup poll, they are exploring and searching for ways to relieve that sense of burnout. That's crazy. So half of the adults in the US who are parents are admitting that they're burnt out and they're trying to find relief. And I want to talk to you about a story in the Bible from Luke 10 that basically highlights this. And we're basically going to make it like a modern day parable. In Luke 10, it shows Martha, she's a hard worker. In her mindset, she's thinking practically things that she has to get done in her household to serve one of the most important guests you could possibly have in your home. I mean, imagine like a president or a king or some sort of royalty. Imagine them wanting to come to your house to sit, have a meal, and spend time with you. The same thing applies here. Jesus, the most important individual to ever exist, wants to come through your front door to spend time with you. So naturally, you're going to want everything to be perfect. And that was Martha. She was a worker. She worked hard and she wanted to make things just right for that visitation. Now, on the other hand, in Luke chapter 10, you have Mary. Mary's priorities and her mindset were different. Mary knew that Jesus coming to their home was someone that she was going to want to absorb as much time from. She wasn't so concerned about making the house clean, prepping the food, and making sure all of the surrounding details were perfect. Mary wanted to get as much out of Jesus as possible. She wanted to understand him. She wanted to learn from him. And so her priority was the opposite of Martha's. Mary sat at Jesus' feet and she just listened to everything that he had to say while Martha's running around in the back trying to take care of everything else that was taking place. Jesus, observing everything Martha's doing and observing what Mary was doing, he addresses Martha and he tells her, and he's like, Martha, why are you allowing yourself to be so overwhelmed with all of these extra details? What is most important? So thinking of that question in your mind, I want to talk to you about 3 stones that I believe working mothers or just working women encounter that I believe need to be addressed and need to be impacted and even need to be changed so that you can face the Goliath of anxiety or the Goliath of stress or the Goliath of burnout and overwhelm. For stone number 1, you need to think about how important it is to sometimes just take a step back, pause, and be still. That's all there is to it. And you can find that in Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. And I think a lot of us don't really consider how applicable the Bible can be in how it addresses our needs and it addresses our practical everyday experiences as Christians and as working mothers. I think the first stone that we need to really be willing to pick up and throw in faith at the Goliath of burnout is simply just pausing and being still. And it's crazy that I had actually written this, these podcast notes. Like I had this idea brewing for a while. And it was funny, the other night, one of our elders taught about it in church. So I was just like, wow, confirmation, right? That's the first stone. Second stone, delegation is biblical. Jesus, in the story of Mary and Martha, was basically telling Martha, give this busy work to somebody else to do. I came here for you. And he's telling her, practice delegation. This is your home. You're running it well, but you could run it better. And I think a lot of us as women, because we're working moms or working moms to be, or because we're stay-at-home mothers who are just dealing with, 2, 3, 4 little ones who they all have different personalities and it can be a struggle. We're trying to manage everything and we're trying to stay on top of everything, which then leaves no space or no room for ourselves. I really believe that, as crazy as it might sound, it's a trick of the enemy. Yes, we need to be practically and realistically smart and responsible. Absolutely. But we need to prioritize and organize and delegate responsibilities. I mean, your children, they're not going to learn if you don't delegate to them simple things that they can pick up at a young age. Stone number 2 is just delegation is a biblical concept. Hey, Plan Podcast fam, thank you so much for taking time to watch this video and taking time out of your day to commit to what I have to share with you. I value that and I appreciate it, so I wanted to thank you. Second of all, I wanted to talk to you about the Soft Life Circle community that I have created on Facebook. I will be officially launching and opening up that community on Friday, July 11th. And I encourage you to check it out, join, see what value it adds to your day, your processes. You're going to find that there are other like-minded women there who are seeking the same things and asking a lot of the same questions you are. So you might be surprised what you'll see, hear, and what can help you. I encourage you to check it out. The link will be in the description of this video. I encourage you to continue looking at the different videos I have on my YouTube channel, different interviews I will be posting, and opportunities for you to add value to your life and processes every single day. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch. Now let's get back to the video. Stone number 3 is finding and recognizing, not even finding, because you don't really have to find these moments. You just have to take the time to recognize moments of gratitude, moments that you can testify that the Lord came in at the perfect timing, that He was there and helped you with something or provided you with something, or He had provided it way back, but you're just now thinking like, wow, that just worked out. That was just right. Like, thank the Lord. I'm so grateful. Taking the time to write down these moments, or, you could do it in your phone, on your notes. You could do it on a notepad. You could put like a little magic erase board on the refrigerator. And it's just your moments of gratitude. Because I feel like recognizing these moments, it helps fight that sense of burnout and overwhelm and anxiety. And it helps you realize like, oh, this isn't as bad as I thought it was. All of these little things add up, and it helps combat this mindset of, oh, woe is me, I have so much happening, when really a lot of things happen, but they happen as positive things. And we just don't take the time to actually acknowledge the positive moments because we're so caught up in what's negative. So now that we've sort of covered like a highlight of what this podcast is going to be about, we're talking about the story of Mary and Martha. We're talking about 3 stones that you can cast in faith at burnout and overwhelm and anxiety. And now we're going to make it practical, because I've always wanted to, or I enjoy seeing and learning how these ancient biblical concepts from the Bible can be so rudimentally applicable to our modern day life, as crazy as it sounds. So I want you to take a moment to sit and think, am I a Martha or am I a Mary? And I think that brings it back to the point of, where are my priorities? Are my priorities always being consumed by what has to get done? Or do you navigate the balance that's required to be at peace and to be grateful and to acknowledge the good parts in your everyday life. And then you mix that with the responsibilities you have to do. For me, I am a full-time working mom to be. Let me add that part in there. And I won't lie when I say that I have experienced some serious moments of overwhelm, anxiety, burnout, frustration. And for my story, I can say that I've had to take the time to really force myself to intentionally sit back and just consider all the positive things that I have. Right now, I have a job that provides me with the necessary means to help my husband financially with what we're striving to do with our home and our future life. I have an amazing church family that is super supportive and is real. And I know that's like a whole nother discussion all in of its own, but I firmly believe in not just being part of a church, but I believe in having a real church family that's legitimate and fundamentally sound. And those can be tough to find. And so I'm grateful for the one that I have. I'm grateful for amazing parents and siblings who are supportive and always can put a shine on a dark day. Most importantly, I'm thankful for my husband. He has, through this whole process of me being pregnant and working full time and going through all these experiences, he has transitioned and has adjusted his mindset and perception and has improved in ways that it's been an education for both of us. And he's had the heart and willingness to do that, which has then been supportive for me in helping me. And it could be simple things around the house, simple chores that I obviously would do, but there's just some days I don't have it in me. And he's there to just pick it right up like nothing happened. It's all these little things that add up to the positive moments that I then need to jot down and recognize and continue to acknowledge. Because I believe when you acknowledge and you show the gratefulness for what God's given you, then that's when he opens up the opportunity to give you more. For moms, whether you claim to be a Christian or not, and women in general, like you're a full-time working woman who's just trying to make it through, gratitude changes your perspective and your heart mindset. And it helps you be a better person because then the positivity that you show impacts those who are around you. Like everybody wants to talk about positive and negative energy, and there is truth in that. I firmly believe that there's more of a spiritual side to that. Generally speaking, if somebody's having a crappy mood and they're just wanting to complain about everything, all of a sudden you'll find yourself thinking and complaining about stuff going on with you, and it's like, wait a second, I was fine 20 minutes ago, and now look at me. I'm fussing and complaining about XYZ. Or it's the opposite. Somebody who's just always like pleasant and happy and at peace, you just find yourself being drawn to that individual and wanting to be around them because of how it impacts you. And I think that's essential. Gratitude is so essential. Those of us in the trenches, so to speak, of that work life, mom life, overwhelm, frustration that comes with it. And just simply the burnout that then follows. I had mentioned earlier how I feel like a church group or a church family, I should say, is essential. I think it's essential to have individuals in your corner who are like-minded and who are even better in certain things than you are, because then it helps guide you and improve you and push you to be a better person. That's why I created a group called the Soft Life Circle community. And I called it that because I think there's a lot of different pieces that fall into that. A soft life implies that There's no stress. You know, it's getting yourself and taking that pause moment and taking a step back and then recognizing and being able to see what you're grateful for, what you got to do, and what you can delegate, basically. And then a circle, it's just a never-ending sphere of opportunity, is how I see it. A circle never ends. And it encompasses so much that I think can be valued, especially when you have other like-minded individuals looking for the same thing. And then, like I had mentioned before, the word community, I believe it's a little too generic, but I feel as if it does encompass the idea of we're in this together. And so this Facebook group is something that I'm building out and building up. I'm launching it on July 11th. It's a Friday. But I'm making this group to bring women to a place where they can have other women who are in the same boat there to be supportive and to help each other. I'm making materials and information, planners, different things to add to this group over time that could be sort of like helping puzzle pieces to you figuring out what system and what processes work best for you in order to better what you're doing and how you're doing it. So I encourage you to check it out. I'm going to include the QR code at the bottom here of this video. And I'm also going to include it at the end of this video if you want to, hold your phone camera up to it. This community's for you, and it's a value-added community. And that's my goal. Everything that I provide you, I want it to be value-added. I want you to take time to practice the 3 things that I had mentioned earlier in this video to fight that Goliath of overwhelm and burnout. You need to first take time to pause and just take 30 minutes for yourself in a day. The pause and be still moment. The second thing that you need to do, the second stone, take time to figure out where you can delegate tasks. And then the third thing, take time to recognize the little victories that you have every single day. The gratitude will shift your mindset. It'll shift your heart attitude, and it'll improve who you are as a person. Hey, Plan Podcast fam, thank you so much for taking time to watch this video and taking time out of your day to commit to what I have to share with you. I value that and I appreciate it, so I wanted to thank you. Second of all, I wanted to talk to you about the Soft Life Circle community that I have created on Facebook. I will be officially launching and opening up that community on Friday, July 11th. And I encourage you to check it out, join, see what value it adds to your day, your processes. You're going to find that there are other like-minded women there who are seeking the same things and asking a lot of the same questions you are. So you might be surprised what you'll see, hear, and what can help you. I encourage you to check it out. The link will be in the description of this video. I encourage you to continue looking at the different videos I have on my YouTube channel, different interviews I will be posting, and opportunities for you to add value to your life and processes every single day.